Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Ultimate Weight Loss Plan. This is going to be a 4-part series where we learn how to lose weight and most importantly, how we can maintain that weight so we're not putting it back on later down the line. Now, all of the information in this video, in this entire series, is scientifically backed. It's all from the NHS and the British Association of Dietetics, which is great stuff because you know it's safe and trustworthy. Now, if you haven't watched episode 1 of this series, I would highly recommend that you start from episode 1 and work your way through the episodes. The reason being is we've designed these videos in that way so you can work your way through them step by step to make that journey easier for you and so you can get the most benefit from these videos. In episode 1, for example, we first start with portion sizing and healthier breakfast options and loads of other things, and then we work our way through the episode. So if you haven't seen that episode, please start from there and then slowly work your way through to these other videos. I will leave links to them up here and in the description below. Now, before we begin, please do remember that this video series has been designed for adults with a BMI of above 25. Now, if you're wondering what on earth is BMI, not to worry, I've got a BMI calculator in the description below. Feel free to check it out. And if your BMI is above 25, you can start this whole series. But please do remember, it's always important to speak to your healthcare professional before you start any diet, just so they can make sure that you're safe and suitable to do so, because certain people with certain medical conditions shouldn't be doing these sort of diets. So hopefully you've already seen episodes 1 and 2, so you've got a rough idea of how these videos work. If you can't remember because it's been a while, not to worry, I'm going to give you a quick refresher now. First of all, the aim of these videos is to be as simple as possible so that you can follow them. And in each video, we're going to have a 3-week challenge. So this video is going to be week 7 to 9. Hopefully some information should pop up here right now. And as you can see, each week we're going to have different challenges that we can work through together. Easy as that. Now, I can appreciate this is going to be quite a long video, so if at any point you want any specific information, the good news is I've timestamped it all. It's all in the description below, so feel free to click it and click on whatever relevant information you want. I would, however, highly recommend that you watch the whole video so you can become a How to Lose Weight Pro. Now, let's begin. So first of all, well done. A massive congratulations for getting here. You're on week 7. You are making a difference. You're making the change. You've done this all on your own. So a massive congratulations to all of you who are doing this. Now, please do let us know how you've been getting on so far. Leave a comment below. What have you found the hardest? What have you found the trickiest? What have you found the easiest? And any sort of tips as well. I'd love to read it, and I'm sure everyone watching this video would too. So for the first challenge of week number 7, we're looking at increasing your fruit and vegetable intake. Now, hopefully you've already partially done this when we spoke about it in episode 1, when we spoke about bulking up your plate with fruit and vegetables. However, there are various other techniques as well that we're going to talk about now in week number 7. So not only are fruit and vegetables a great source of vitamins and minerals, but they're also a great source of fiber. And if you remember when we spoke about fiber, fiber is one of those things that takes quite some time for your body to break it down. It also bulks up within your intestines, so it makes you feel fuller for longer. That's one of the great things about fiber, that it's going to make us feel fuller for a lot longer. So here's some examples of how you can increase your vegetable uptake. Let's say you're making a sandwich or a wrap. Fill it up with things like flavored herbs, spinach, cucumbers, lettuce, and tomatoes so that you can put less meat or cheese within it. Or when making a high carbohydrate meal, like let's say rice or pasta, substitute 1 cup worth for 1 cup of tomatoes or peppers or courgettes or aubergines. And the same kind of principle applies for fruit. So let's say, for example, you're having cereal or porridge, use less of it and replace that amount with fruit. So strawberries, berries, bananas, whichever fruit you like. Now, you can use raisins or other dried fruits. However, fresh fruit is always better. Reason being, when you dry fruit, like let's say raisins, for example, you get less water in it and higher calorie intake because it becomes more concentrated with the sugar, so you get a higher calorie content. So if you are having lots of dried fruit, then you could be potentially getting a lot more calories than you think you're getting. So they're great to have in small portions, but going for the fresh fruit is always better. And remember, when you're adding all these fruits and vegetables to your meals, you want to use them to replace the high calorie part of your meal. If you're adding fruit and vegetables to the calories already, you're just going to get more calories. So from this week onwards, try substituting some meat, some carbohydrates on your plate for at least 2 portions of fruit or vegetables instead, and see what a difference you can make. Fresh frozen and canned versions all count, by the way. Now, increasing your fruit and vegetables can be amazing, but it can become counterproductive if you're adding in high calorie toppings. So in challenge 2 of this week, we're going to talk about getting the most out of your salads. Now, I know when I say salad, a lot of you may be thinking, salad just doesn't do it for me, Abraham, but salads and vegetables don't have to be boring and they don't have to be flavorless. You may have only had one type of salad which wasn't very tasty, but there's so many different versions out there, and a little bit of experimentation can help you find the best one for you. A salad accompaniment can be a great way to help you get in that vegetables, the 5 a day that you really require. But it's important when you're choosing or making one to go for the right options. Some can be deceptively high in calories if they have mayonnaise, cheese, bacon or croutons added. Now, the common salad often includes lettuce, tomato and cucumbers, but you can mix it up. You can add whatever you like. You can add in butternut squash, you can add in asparagus, you can add herbs, you can add in whatever you want. Mix and match and have a variety. So for example, you can add in cooked chickpeas or kidney beans. These can also be a great way to add low-fat protein in place of chicken or bacon. Pine nuts, walnuts and sunflower seeds are also really good at adding both protein and texture. Now, coleslaws and potato salads unfortunately are not included in our salad list. They are massively high in calorie usually because they have so much mayonnaise in them, and as well as that, potatoes don't count towards your 5 a day of fruit and vegetables, okay? They have such a high starch content that we're unable to count them as your vegetable content. Now, instead of mayonnaise for dressings, how about you try vinegar, mustard, lemon juice, olive oil, as they're all better options than having anything cream based. Even just as little as 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise can be as high as 220 calories, which is crazy. So from this week onwards, I really want you to make the most out of your salads, experiment, make something new, make something exciting to make those salads as good as they can be. Honestly, you can't beat a good salad when it's done properly. Okay guys, moving to week number 8. First of all, again, congratulations, a massive, huge congratulations for you getting this far. Let me know how you've got on so far. What have you done with the salad? What have you done with the fruit and vegetable mixes? Leave some comment below, and also leave some comments about what kind of salad options you've been doing, what works well for you, what you've really been enjoying, because I know I'd love to read it and I'm sure everyone watching this video would too. So the first challenge that I want to discuss for week number 8 is going to be a really quick one, and it's just staying on top of your exercise. Remember, in episode 1 we spoke all about exercise, so if you want more information on that, go to that video. But just to remember, if you're an adult over 19 or under 65, you need to be aiming for around 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week, okay? You can do either or, you can mix it up, but that's what you need to be aiming for per week. Now, walking and running are great exercises that we can all do. Obviously, do it at your own pace and slowly build it up. Again, I discussed more about this in episode 1, but also remember this, studies have shown that just walking daily can burn more calories and burn more fat than visiting the gym weekly, okay? So bear that in mind as well. So if you don't go to the gym, don't worry about it. You can do walking, and there's many different home exercises that you can do. And if you find it boring, take a friend or family member with you. Try running with music or a podcast. I know I find it's really helpful. Or find somewhere scenic to enjoy the landscape whilst you run. And if walking or running just isn't doing it for you, you can always sign up for a gym membership, or if that's a little expensive, a lot of the parks now here in the UK have free workout sections now with machines that you can use, which can be a great alternative as well. Now, there are also sports clubs, dance classes and swimming lessons, which can be a great social way to get fit as well. There's so many different options that you can look at. Now, if you want any more information on exercises or what you can try, I'm going to leave more information in the description below. I also do have a few videos on different exercises that you can do at home, which I will leave links to up here. And if you want more information on all the exercises, by the way, visit episode 1 where we go in a lot more detail on this. So now let's move on to the second challenge of this week, and it's all about choosing low-calorie treats. So I know that since week 4 we discussed looking at healthier options snacks, which is great, and I'm sure you've been continuing that. But the next thing we're going to discuss for this week's challenge is those low calorie treats, specifically looking at desserts and what you can have which are low calories and are going to help you lose weight and maintain that weight in the long run. So let's say, for example, if you've been missing having those biscuits whilst doing this diet plan, you can try oat biscuits or rice cakes instead. These have a much higher fiber content, so it's going to leave you fuller for longer. Remember, we discussed this earlier. Now let's say if you have a sweet craving for candies or sweet, you can try sultanas or raisins instead to satisfy that mini treat need. Now when you are trying to lose weight, cutting down on those biscuits and sweet treats can have a massive impact on us losing weight and maintaining that weight so we don't put it back on later on. Let's say, for example, if you have 2 chocolate digestives every day, that will save you about 588 calories per week, which is a massive number and a massive saving. Now, some other ideas to discuss, for example, if you really like cakes, you can have things like banana loaf, you can have a scone, you can have a malt loaf, or if you really like ice cream, try switching to frozen yogurt. And for comparison, 100 grams of low-fat frozen yogurt can contain 104 calories, which is almost half of what 100 grams of ice cream can contain, which is about 207 calories. So making the swap can be really worth it. But please do remember, just because these are low in calories, they still contain sugars and fats. And remember, the key point is you need to have these in moderation. They need to be a treat type of food, not all the time. If you're having them all the time, it's not gonna work. This diet plan is not gonna work. So that's the challenge for this week. Let us know how you get on, and also leave a comment below to let us know any good treats that you have found that are low in calories, that are good for you, and they're not too calorific, so they're not too high in calories. So now let's move on to week number 9. The first challenge is reducing your alcohol intake. If you don't drink alcohol, feel free to skip to the next challenge. Now, when it comes to alcohol, a lot of people don't realize how many calories there are in alcoholic beverages. Most people always think about the food that we eat and forget about the drinks that we have. But these alcoholic beverages sometimes can have really high calories. So for example, just one large glass of wine has about 126 calories, which is the same amount as a small chocolate bar. And a pint of beer can have as high as 170 calories, the same amount as a packet of crisps. So try and cut down on the alcoholic drinks just as much as trying to reduce unhealthy snacks. So first of all, to make sure that you're not drinking too much alcohol, it's recommended that men and women drink no more than 14 units of alcohol per week, ideally spread over at least 3 days, or more is better, and also having a few alcohol-free days per week. Now, if you're unsure how many units of alcohol you are having per week, this is quite normal. It's very easy to be unsure of it. There is a really good calculator on the NHS website, which I'm going to leave a link to in the description below. Feel free to go on it. It's really easy to use. Just click on whatever you drink, how many glasses of wine you drink, how many beers you drink, or whatever, and it will calculate the number of units you have per week. Now, one really useful option if you're out drinking, a helpful way to reduce your intake can be as simple as alternating every other drink with water. Not only will this help keep you hydrated, but it will stop the alcohol units and calories accumulating. It's also a good idea not to drink in rounds, as this can sometimes lead to you drinking more than you might have otherwise. Drink at your own pace, and then you're in control to stop when you know you've had enough. Now, it's not only the calories that we get from alcohol that you need to be aware of. You also need to remember that whilst you're out drinking with your friends and you're socializing, you might have the occasional treat, which are usually unhealthy foods that you might have, which aren't going to help. Also, the next day you might be a bit hungover, you might have a fry up, a heavy breakfast, or anything like that, which again, all those calories are not going to help with the weight loss journey and maintaining the weight. So a quick tip that everyone can do before you go out drinking: have a meal, eat something at home, have something home cooked, so then you're not going to be hungry and you're less likely to get those unhealthy treats whilst you're out drinking. Now, I do have a few other videos on how to reduce your alcohol intake. If you are interested, if you want to go in more detail on this, I will leave a link to it up here and in the description below. The NHS website also has some really useful tips and tricks as well, which I will leave a link to in the description below too. Now, if you don't drink alcohol, I guess that's one less thing to worry about with calories and putting on weight. But another thing to bear in mind is soft drinks, fizzy drinks, and also coffees. For example, a 250ml mocha can be as much as 193 calories, or a can of Coke is about 140 calories. So challenge 2 is all about reducing these other drink calories. Now, cutting down on caffeine can be very difficult. I know a lot of us rely on it, and I'm not saying you need to stop caffeine entirely, but really think about it. Can you go for low calorie options? For example, a black coffee. Would you be okay with the black coffee? Lattes, cappuccinos, and mochas can be surprisingly calorific, containing roughly 105, 110, and 193 calories each, whereas a mug of black coffee is only about 3 calories, which is amazingly low. Fizzy drinks are also a massive culprit for high calorie intake. If you're having, let's say, 2 cans a day, that can be about 280 calories, okay? Whereas water is calorie free, it's good for you. Switching to water or adding some lemon in there to give it a bit of flavor, all of these things can be useful alternatives. Now, you may be thinking, well, what about fruit juices, Abraham? Are they good for you? They've got fruit in them and they're a juice. Well, you may be thinking that, and yes, they do contribute to your 5 a day, only one, a glass of about 150 ml. But please remember, a lot of these fruit juices, because of the way that they're made, they can be very, very high in sugars, which are not going to help with our weight loss journey. Some better options include sugar-free juices and fruit-only smoothies, but limit these to just 1 glass a day. And when you have a fruit craving, switch to eating the whole piece of fruit instead, which can be more filling. Now, I know that both of these challenges can leave you thinking, well, what can I actually drink? Because everything is full of calories. Remember, when you're unsure, water is always the best option. It's got no calories, it's got no sugar, it's not bad for your teeth either, and it's gonna help with that weight loss plan, okay? If you don't like water, for example, the taste of it, try mixing it up, try putting some lemon in it, try putting some mint leaves in it, just to give it a bit more flavor and make it more palatable for you. Now, everyone's bodies and lifestyles are incredibly different, and it's really difficult to find a one-size-fits-all diet that fits everyone. So please remember, like I said at the start of the video, first of all, check your BMI, make sure it's above 25 if you want to follow this diet, and also, most importantly, always speak to your healthcare professional first before you follow any diet plan like this or any other diet plan, so they can make sure that you're safe and suitable to follow it, because certain individuals, certain health conditions, certain people cannot follow these kinds of diets. So it's super important that you get the okay from your healthcare professional first. Now, if your BMI is less than 25 and you're still trying to lose weight, if you're not happy with your body, if you feel like you're still overweight but your BMI is below 25, please speak to your healthcare professional. That is one of the most important things that I can tell you in this video. It's important for your weight to be normal and not underweight. And if you're having any of these sort of thoughts, there's going to be a box popping up here. I want you to really read through them. And if you're ever having any of these kinds of thoughts, please speak to your healthcare professional about it. That is the most important thing, because your safety and your health is the most important thing. And that's probably why you're here if you're trying to lose weight. But if you're having any of these sort of thoughts, please speak to your healthcare professional. That's one of the most important things that I can tell you in this video. So that's it for this week's video. You are doing amazing. We're at the end of week 9. There is one more episode left that will be coming out in a few weeks' time. Please do let us know how you're getting on. Leave a comment below. I would love to read it. And as always, sending you all awesome vibes, and I'll see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to click that like, follow, or subscribe button now to stay up to date with new weekly videos.